Jevon, I know you're a guy that just generally likes to keep things light, but it seemed like even at the short portion of practice that I saw today, you were kind of dancing, having fun. Is that just kind of do you kind of see that as a whole from this group, just knowing that you guys have kind of turned this whole season around, knowing that there's important games to be played? I mean, what's the kind of atmosphere, the mood of this team right now?
The mood of the team, everybody's excited to play Titans, man. I mean, it's a big game. They're a really tough opponent. Got great offense, defense, special teams. They're really well coached. So this is what we do. We play football, enjoy the time that we have, just having a good time while doing it.
And I know that the message from Flo, the message from top down is just to focus on what's in front of you, take things one day at a time. But you personally, I mean, do you hear the kind of situation that you're in, knowing that you just have to win these final two games to get to the playoffs, or do you just try to block that out?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Actually, we're focused on the Titans. That's it, my man.
Gotcha.
Travis?
Hey, Jevon, speaking of the Titans, we saw A.J. Brown come back last week and have a big impact. I know you won't really match up as far as, lining up across from him, but you'll have a big impact in that defensive secondary. I was just curious. It seemed like the Niners knew where it was going. The Titans wanted to go back to A.J. Brown in that game. What makes him so difficult to stop, even when maybe the ball's going that way?
He's a large, athletic, consistent receiver. He's one of the best in the league, and you see that week in and week out. And so, we just got a game plan for it and go out there and execute. But no, he's a hell of a player. He's been a hell of a player in the league, has a great career. So I'm excited to play him. I was growing up watching him, so it's going to be a good time. I'm going to enjoy myself.
Anybody else for Jevon? Barry?
Hi, Jevon. Just wanted to ask you about some of the challenges as a safety on the COVID list. You had it last week, Brandon this week. I know you're in Zoom meetings, but what more can happen to prepare you last week, Brandon? This week, does Gerald get on the phone with you guys who are on the safeties on the COVID list who can't actually be at practice? Does he talk to you guys at night just to give you more information? What is that like?
We're just meeting on Zoom, like you said. We're not in the meeting rooms, so we're actually still on the Zoom meeting calls while on the COVID list, listening and understanding the game plan just in case that we do test back in. So there's really no drop off. And we did that specifically for that reason so that everybody can stay on top of everything. So there really isn't a, lack of communication or need for extra communication there yet.
And just having a player like Eric, I know he's been helpful to you this year, being able to step in. He'd play a lot anyway, but if Brandon's not there, what has he meant to your development and learning the NFL this year?
He's meant a lot. Him and J-Mac both, they basically played the same role for me as kind of two Northern stars that I can follow in two different ways. J-Mac's been in the league for a super long time. E-Ro's been in the league for a long time, but he's, taking a different path. So, both of them, but Eric, for real, has been, he's meant a lot to me in my development and confidence back there.
Thanks.
All right, last question. We'll go to Cam.
Hey, Jevon, how you doing, man?
Good, how you doing, man? Good.
A lot of times it looks like deep offenses are very confused by the looks you guys give them and send pressure. From you guys' standpoint, how hard was it to learn what you guys are doing up front so you're not confused at what your responsibility is?
Are you asking?
If that makes sense. About your defensive, like when you're sending blitzes, sending different looks, disguises.
My understanding of the defensive front or the offensive front?
The defensive, like what your assignment is when you're disguising and when you're doing different looks to confuse the offense.
No, that's just kind of built into the defense. As a safety, I consider myself one of the quarterbacks of the defense. I want to understand everybody's role so that I can best fit myself to confuse the offense. So it's not necessarily a difficulty. It's kind of just as a professional knowing the defense, really.
Gotcha. I'm obviously, you guys do more maybe than a traditional defense. I guess my question was it more difficult than maybe your time in Oregon at all to pick up some of the different disguises, different type of packages you guys want to run here?
Yeah. Oregon, like I was in college, man. I played nickel in Oregon. Like this is the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to sound like that, but like this is the NFL, my man. Like, yeah, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard. So, yeah, it's a lot more difficult now than it is before.